process, just to have the overall view of how we do metal ceramics. This is done less and less because of the huge success of zirconia crowns. So what you see is the sprueing of the wax ups, right? So you have the ball reservoir already there in the plastic sprue, and then the isthmus, and then it's connected to the wax up of the metal, which will become the metal coping on which ceramic was going to be applied, right? So this is from the very beginning where you want to have the metal coping. This is the sprueing of the metal. So as you remember, those wax patterns sprued already, they are placed on the cone, right? Well, the movie is made up of different movies, so this is not exactly for metal ceramics, but it's just to give the overall image. Yeah, this was done for metal polymer, so to be used as a metal polymer restoration, so it's not exactly for ceramics, but just to have the overall image. So once you have the copings, you place the copings on the you sprue the copings, the wax patterns, right? And you sprue them, you place them on the cone, so it's very well placed there with wax. And then you will invest it, right? This is the cylinder, the metal cylinder. So now the technician applies some alcohol in order to get rid of every grease on the surface, and to make sure that the investment material will adhere, will flow nicely and nicely copy the shape of our patterns. Oftentimes this is done just by spraying. Modern investment materials, they flow very nicely even without doing that. Okay. So now the special paper is placed, the special spacer is placed on the inside of the cylinder, because we want to allow the investment material to expand. So we need that space. You realize that when this paper is burned in the burnout furnace, in the preheating or burnout furnace, there's gonna be a space in between the metal and the investment material, and that space is very important because it allows an extra dilation, extra expansion of the investment material, which the metal itself wouldn't allow. Of course, the metal expands in the furnace, that's okay, but the investment material expands even more. So you need that space, otherwise the copings will be small, will be tight, right? So now you are ready to put the investment material. This is one of the best. It's made by GC. There's a very good Japanese company. Bego is also doing very good investment materials. There are other very good investment materials out there on the market. So it's mixed with the liquid, and yeah, you decide how much you mix the liquid with water. It depends on how much expansion you want. You want maximum expansion, you only put liquid. The liquid provided with the investment material. You want less expansion, you dilute it with water. So this depends on the experience of every single technician, right? So they know what they need to do in order to have the best results. This is vacuum mix now. And then it's gonna be poured inside of the cylinder, so you will have your work invested. So vacuum mix now. It's like 30 seconds. That's it. And now it's vibrating. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. Yeah. You see, it's another cylinder. I told you the movie is made up of several movies, but just to have an overall image of how things are done. No, it's the same cylinder. Okay, so the investment material goes there, and now it's very important to go slowly and to allow the investment material to get inside the copings, you see. And it seems it doesn't want to do that, so the technician will help it somehow, yeah, with an instrument. Yeah, because if it doesn't go there nicely, then you will have air bubbles, and in those air bubbles you will have matter getting in, and so the coping will not fit on your die. Too much vibration, air bubbles coming out, so this is the wrong way to do it. You shouldn't vibrate it, although people say you have to, but those who say that, they only teach, they never did it. Sorry to say. The best way is to pour from on high, slowly, and not to vibrate at all. Okay, so now the metal is ready to be centrifuged, right? The cylinder is taken out of the furnace, so everything went away, wax, plastic, everything went away. It's pure holes inside of the investment material. The metal is now heated up. It's a flame heating system. So the metal is now heated up, and of course the cylinder, this has to be done quick because the cylinder would cool down, and so the investment material will not be as hot as needed to allow the metal to flow. So the metal will solidify and will not get into all the inside holes of the investment material. So this has to be done pretty quick. You have maybe 1 minute. 2 minutes is already too much. Okay, so the metal is now melted, and then it will be centrifuged, and hopefully the ring with the investment material is still hot enough to receive this melted metal. You never know. You see at the end. So once is placed there, you see it went all the way through. So you hope it went okay. Yeah, this is the excess metal that remained in the cone. The other way is to melt it with induction. So the same thing, again, more movies mixed together just to give you the overall image. So here you decide on the temperature. Yeah, 1394 degrees, temperature control infrared. So you know exactly the temperature of your metal. You decide how quick you do it, how many amps you put on it, and yeah, that's the power control. So you decide how quick you go, how fast you go, but there's no flame on the metal. So theoretically, at least theoretically, it's gonna be less oxides on the metal surface. This is still to be discussed. Anyhow, this is the modern way to do it, that's for sure. Induction machine. induction casting machine, that's what it's called. And here you see the tip here, it's what reads the temperature, it's the infrared control of the temperature. Okay, so 12.6 amps, right? That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. And the temperature starts rising. You see the metal there's no flame, there's just induction currents that melt the metal. Of course, the cylinder is still in the preheating furnace, in the burnout furnace, is still there. You don't take it out now because it will cool down. When you're almost ready with melting the metal, it's only then that you bring your cylinder from the furnace, from the burnout furnace or preheating furnace. Right, you need glasses, goggles to look through, because otherwise, of course, this is damaging your eye. It's extremely high temperature of melt metal, or melting metal, yes. Okay, so the temperature is rising. You want to get to 1,390, whatever it was. So at that temperature, the heating will stop and the metal will be maintained at that temperature. That's what this automatic casting machine is doing. So yes, you don't take the cylinder out from the furnace yet. Not yet, not yet. Still the metal has to melt. It's not melt completely. Still a while. This is the diameter of the cylinder because you have to have a balance, a perfect balance while rotating. So you need a counterweight there. So that's the fixing of the counterweight according to the weight of the cylinder, bigger or smaller. Right. So now it's taken out. The metal is already almost there at the final temperature. The cylinder is placed there. It has to be warm, very warm, as I said. It doesn't have to cool down, doesn't have to have the time to cool down. So now you place it, you're almost ready, you look at it, and when you're done, you centrifuge. Okay? Careful, careful, careful. And once it's melted, you just start the centrifuge. It's done again automatically. You can program the automatic casting machine to do this automatically when the metal is melted. So you don't have to care about this. There are more and more sophisticated casting machines. Here the technician is helping a little bit the metal to melt, to fall down. And this is the result after the casting. I told you this is from another movie, but just to give you an idea. So exactly what you had in wax and plastic, now you have it in metal, right? That's how we do it. And this is not for metal ceramic, this is for metal and polymer. But just to have an idea, so imagine this was for metal, and now you sandblast everything, and you want to prepare it to apply the ceramics, right? This is a sandblasting of your metal copings and frames and frameworks, and the sprues. You will have to cut the sprues right after the investment material is removed by sandblasting. It's quite a difficult work. It's not that easy to do it. So that's why technicians have to be paid for their work. It's not an easy job what they do. Besides, all those machines, they're quite expensive. To have a dental lab is not that easy. And once you have done that, you have to cut the sprues, of course, to release your metal frameworks from this package, so to say. The sandblasting has to be done carefully. You use maximum 50 microns normally. This is what you should do, normally should do. And this is applying the ceramic. This is European ceramic system from Germany. Many powders that allow the technician to combine whatever they want. This seems to be the matrix, the luster ceramic. This is a program. You program your furnace to raise the temperature according to the manufacturer's indications. And here you see a real metal ceramic crown. This is the paste opaque, POA2. That's A2 is the shade and PO is paste opaque. Again, the mixing, but you see that it doesn't mix everything. This technician knows better. The liquid is left down and the technician takes from the upper part of the jar to apply the opaque. So this is paste opaque, and most modern ceramics now, they have paste opaque, no more powder opaques as it used to be like 30 years ago. So opaque is applied. Normally you have to apply 2 layers of opaque. One covers like 70-80% of the metal shade, and then you apply the second layer of opaque. The final opaque layer is like 0.2 millimeters if you use this paste opaque. So this is the stand, the refractory stand. Refractory means that it can go into the porcelain furnace 1000 degrees without any modification. So now again, after baking of the baking of the opaque, right? First layer of opaque, probably the second layer as well. Yeah, we didn't see this. Now that's the second layer of opaque going into the furnace, and then it comes out, and you're ready to place your ceramic. So normally you put 2 layers of opaque. You see that's the second layer of opaque that has been already baked. And now the second layer of opaque is placed on the metal coping. Yeah, that's the second layer of opaque. This is the right way to do it. Second layers of opaque. You remember there was a movie where we saw the bonding and the opaque. Here is just 2 layers of opaque. So the first layer of opaque does the job of a bonder, of binding substrate. Yeah. Most of ceramics are done like this now. You don't need it to be very thick, just to cover the color of the metal. That's enough. The thinnest possible, just to have the metal color covered, completely covered. And as I said, in this opaque, you can add some pigments in order to have it modified, color modified. Yeah. If the space for the ceramic is very narrow, very small, yeah, then you have to modify the opaque already in order to give the color that you want to your final restoration. And now we place the ceramic. Of course, you let it cool down, obviously. We place the ceramic now. The technician is placing the ceramic. Again, it's very important to know your morphology, what you're doing in wax, now you're doing in ceramics. It's much more difficult, much more demanding. You see the nice shape and morphology. And now extra ceramic placed on the contact points. As I said, because of the shrinkage, you need to overbuild with ceramic. And now dry everything out. Take the water out as much as you can. Of course, it will dry out before getting into the muffle chamber. That's true, but the more you take water out, the better it will be. And now slowly you just place it on the carefully, you just place it on your stand, refractory stand, and then after it comes out from the baking, you just adjust the contact points. Hopefully you do it in only one bake. If not, you just add more. That's an add-on, you see. The second application of ceramic just for corrections and because of the shrinkage of the first bake. 2 bakes is common, is very common. 1 bake is when you're very good. Okay, so now it's the morphological correction. Okay, and margin. This is to be done only with diamond. And now the glaze. So you can color with the glaze. You can color under the translucent, that's internal stain. You can color with your translucents that can be colored already. You can color by build-up, or you can color your opaque. So those are the 5 ways you can modify the color of your restoration. Right, opaque, build-up, internal stain, opalescent, translucent with pigments, and external stain with the glaze. So that's the aspect of the final restoration, which is glazed.